Hi and welcome back. Now in the previous lesson we created a file called style.css and we linked to it from our index.html. Now today we're going to get down to coding some actual CSS. Now remember, CSS is the second of three languages that we're going to be working with. The first being HTML, which we did in the past few lessons. Now we're doing CSS, and finally we're going to do JavaScript. So on to stage 2, language 2, CSS. So today we're going to do some actual CSS coding. Really amazing stuff, and I think we're going to accelerate here and you're going to start having a lot more fun in today's lesson. Alright, so what we're going to do is go to our style sheet and then we're going to add what we call a selector. Now this selector will be called body. And then you follow this up with two curly brackets, open and close curly brackets. And hit enter. Now what exactly is going on here? What does this mean? What does body actually mean in this case? Now to understand this we need to look at our index.html. So let's go back there. Back in index, remember we put in a tag called body. Body open and body close. Now we want to add styling to everything that is inside this body tag. That means all the tags that are inside here are going to have a universal style. Hence, in our style sheet, we call body. In other words, everything inside the body tags are going to have this style, the styling information that we're going to put inside here. Now let's take it a little further so you understand better what's going on. We start off with color. Now remember, color in this case is spelled C-O-L-O-R without the U. This is the American spelling of the word color. Now if you put in the British spelling, your code will not work. Okay, now let's change this to, let's add a color green. Now with the moment you type green, look what brackets is doing. It's showing you a pop-up box with a whole range of different greens. Beautiful, beautiful greens. Now I'm going to choose one. I can either choose plain and simple old green, or I can get a little fancy and pick something like forest green. I think I'm going to opt for forest green and put in the semicolon. You see that little guy? That little guy, that semicolon is going to cause you a lot of problems if you forget to put it. So please remember at the end of each line to put in your semicolon. Anyways, let's save this and go back to our browser. Back in the browser, I've got Quiz app open. Just simply hit refresh and boom. See what happened? All the text in my page turned color, changed color to forest green. Amazing stuff, isn't it? All right, let's get a little more exciting. Let's change the font. Now somebody asked me this in one of the questions. How do I change the font from this plain old Times Roman old-fashioned font to something more trendy? So we type this font dash family. Font dash family. Note the dash in between. And we're going to give this a font called Helvetica. Please watch your spelling here. Helvetica, 9 letters. Comma, sans serif. And semicolon. Now what's going on here? Here we're giving the text a font, and that font is called Helvetica, and Helvetica is in the sans serif family of fonts. Now sans serif means fonts without a serif. Now what exactly is a serif? If you don't know what a serif is, the serif is, you can see on this H, you've got these, let me zoom that in. You've got these little extra sections sticking out there. Same with the one with the D, that little section that's sticking out there. Those are called serifs. So the sans serif font don't have those. Now let's see what that looks like. Save our style sheet back in the browser, hit refresh, and there we go. A very modern looking Helvetica font. Awesome. Making good progress here. Now we can also change background colors, we can add background images, we can do just about any styling that you want to do on your page. You can make your page look like anything you want. Now let's add a background color here. Now how do you add a background color? See how simple this is? Background dash and brackets gives you a whole range of options to choose from. You can either type in the word color or you just select color there. Now I'm going to go for a very light gray. Let's see. Now notice the spelling of the word gray. G-R-E-Y. And I want to choose a light color. Let's choose light gray. Semicolon that. Save. Back in the browser. Refresh. See what happened? Now our background has a color of light gray. Now I want you to experiment with this. I want you to go wild. I want you to go to town and just change colors and make it to whatever colors you want. I mean, some are going to be downright hideous and some might just look very beautiful. So don't hesitate to experiment. Okay, let's take things a little further. Now, what if we wanted to change the color of just this font, just the H1 heading? Can we do that? Yes, of course. You knew that was coming. So to change the H1, we use the H1 selector. Again, looking at our index, the H1 tag is the one that's going to be affected by this. So any text that has the H1 tag is going to be affected by this style. So H1, open and close curly braces. Let's go for a bluish color. What do we go for here? Let's try Dodger blue. This is unusual. Semicolon, save, head back, refresh, and there we go. Our text has now changed color to this color called Dodger blue. Now we can also change a whole lot of other attributes of this text, like the size. I mean, we saw the font changed, but we can also change the size. And we do this using the font size attribute. Font dash size. You can either type in size or just select it from here. Let's make this something ridiculous, something really tiny. We'll call it 6px. Now px is a measurement. It stands for pixels. So we're going to use 6px. Let's see what happens with 6. Now it's quite small. Let's go back and refresh. There we go. There's our font there. Tiny, tiny, tiny little font right there. But of course, that's not the whole point of an H1. The H1 is meant to be big and bold. So let's make it from 6 to 60 pixels. Spoiler alert, it's going to be huge. Go back, and there we go. Nice, big, bold text. Now you can change the size, fonts, colors of just about any text on your screen here. So feel free to experiment, do some styling for the paragraph tag as well as your H6 and the other text that you put in, and go wild with your imagination. That's all we have time for today, unfortunately, but I'll catch you in the next episode.